Oh, mortgages. Part of the American dream. Right now, as we all know, as everything else is, mortgages are sky high. Real estate prices are still high, as well as interest rates. Should we be paying off our mortgage? Let's talk about it.
How much is your mortgage?
$2,753 a month.
Ooh. All right, Lori, how much is your mortgage payment?
$1,341 a month.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Brett, how much is your mortgage payment?
It's 18 something. Can't remember exactly.
That's not bad. All right, Robert, how much is your mortgage payment?
$2,100.
Cool. How much is your house payment?
$1,499.
Cool. What's your mortgage payment?
My monthly mortgage payment is $980.
Sweet. How much is your mortgage payment?
$1,992.
Cool. Alan, how much is your mortgage payment?
$1,900.
Nice.
Paul wins. Sub 1,000 mortgage. Can't beat it. Now, I always love watching these types of videos, and I'll probably share them every time I talk about mortgages or car payments or whatever type of debt people have. There's just something that you get to see into what other people are doing, and something just feels different about someone telling you how much their mortgage payment is or their car payment. I don't know. I love those types of videos. The reason I put this one first is because I wanted to talk about generally in the American population, the highest monthly payment a typical American has is their mortgage payment. And it's most likely going to be typically the largest purchase they ever make in their lifetime. The thought is, what if the largest payment of your monthly bills was gone? Gone. Never have to worry about it again. How would you sleep at night? How would that make you feel? How would that change the decisions you and your family makes to take a trip or to spend that money elsewhere or to be able to ramp up investments even more or to go buy a second property as a vacation home / investment? These are all the things you can do when you have a paid off mortgage.
My wife and I paid off our mortgage in our early 30s. And here's how you can pay off your house early too. You want to put down a strong down payment. 10, 20+% is the best. We put down 45% because we're crazy. Get a reasonable house. You don't need a mansion. We got a townhome that was reasonably priced and we aggressively started attacking that mortgage. We made extra payments, and the way we got those extra payments, doing side hustles, we did no spend months, we were on a budget, we were cutting expenses, we were doing anything we could to create that margin to throw on top of that principal. That is how we paid off $165,000 in 26 months, and you want to get the right mortgage to do this. A 15-year fixed rate mortgage with a payment that's no more than a quarter of your take-home pay will set you up for success to pay off your house early. You can do this.
Shout out to George and his wife. I mean, paying off a house in the early 30s, it's not very typical. So shout out for doing that. Now, the only thing I want to mention here is there's always the component of, well, if I wouldn't have paid off my mortgage early, I could have done, XYZ with the money. If I would have put that money into the market, well, then it would have sat there and it could have made an average 8 to 10%, as it has done over the past 40, 50 years or longer. The average return in the stock market is around 8 to 10%. So the argument always is, well, if you can make the spread, then you're better off mathematically investing the money in the stock market and paying your mortgage. But the other part of the equation that the math part doesn't account for is your risk and how you feel. And those two things I think are very big. Now, my thought process on this, what George is talking about. If you guys don't know George, he is a Dave Ramsey personality, great guy. I love that whole Dave Ramsey team over there. But the one thing I think I would just have a little bit of a pushback, as a guy who has a paid off mortgage in his 30s, is that I'm also a people making sure that they're investing while paying off their mortgage. I think that is the biggest aspect that a lot of people don't talk about. And I feel like on the internet, everyone thinks you're either team mortgage payoff or you're team investing. I'm team both. I think you can do both of them. And I'm a big believer in investing heavily while also paying off your mortgage heavily. And it's up to you to decide on what percentage more you want to lean towards. If you really want to get rid of that house payment, put more towards the house payment, but make sure you're still investing as well. You don't want to be in your 30s putting all your hard-earned cash into this house and not have anything, you know, in retirement or no money, you know, whenever that time comes. So the best thing you can do is to be able to do both. Do both. I'm team mortgage payoff, and I'll tell you why in a little bit.
Just paid our April 1st mortgage payment. We just bought our house in December at a 7.25% interest rate. And I knew that was a high interest rate. It is a high interest rate, but
it is a high interest rate. And then whenever I see this says, okay, forget the math game. If I have a mortgage payment that is above 4 to 5%, I'm taking that return all day. And what I mean by that is whenever you pay off your mortgage, you're getting a guaranteed return of whatever that interest rate is. So if you're stuck in a 2.5% interest rate, I mean, that's damn near almost free money. I probably wouldn't touch that. I would just pay my payments and stick all my extra dollars in the stock market. Again, this is just a broad overview. Obviously, everyone's personal opinion and the situations they have going on in their life are all different. But generally, if you have that low of a mortgage payment, I mean, that's almost free money. But seeing the 7.5% interest rate, that's what I'm like. You're getting a guaranteed return of 7.5% while paying off your mortgage. That just seems like a no-brainer to me. But let's listen to what she has to say.
you don't really visualize it in like a dollar form until you start reading your statements. So my payment is $2,480. $225 goes towards our principal. $1,600.
Sorry, I'm interrupting a lot in this one. Please visualize your payment before you buy the house. That's very important. I'm not hating on this girl, but just, I understand what she means. But truly visualize it. Take the money out of your account every month before you deem to say, okay, let's sign the papers and buy this house at 7.5% interest rate. Because here's newsflash, guys. Interest rates may not come down. I mean, they are coming down now. And if the Feds cut rates in September, we may see another little rate decrease. But if inflation, pops its head out again, like, hey, I'm back.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Well, then we're going to see rates go right back up. So there may, there may not be that opportunity. I remember people back in 22 saying, oh, 2024, we're going to see 4% rates again. We're going to be all right. No, we're sitting at 6s. Now, there's a saying out there that says, date the rate, marry the house. I get that, and I agree with that. But don't go buying a house at a 7.5% interest rate if you're in over your head. I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying these are things to think about. Because buying a house is a big deal. Visualize your payment before you see it on your statement.
Out of pocket. So yeah, think twice before you buy a house. No, I'm just kidding. Buying a house should be a good investment. But best believe I'm refinancing as soon as I see it down to like a 5%.
Paying off your mortgage is not smart. So many people want to do this. They go around, they boast, don't they? Oh, I've got 10, 15 years left on my mortgage, nearly paid it off. And then they get older, they go into retirement and they realise they're now in poverty. I have never known anybody pay off their mortgage to go into retirement in wealth. I've never known anyone pay off their mortgage that is wealthy. You see the big stars, don't you? Beyonce and Jay-Z, they've just got £1 million worth of mortgages. Why didn't they buy it with cash? Because they understand how to leverage. So the smarter way is pull all the equity out of your house, use it to go invest in property, and the income from the property pays your mortgage payment. So you still don't have a mortgage payment, but you're building wealth.
Here's one thing that, okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm team both sides. I'm team investing, but I'm also team paying off your mortgage. I'm not, don't pay off your mortgage at all. Like, if you can pay it off early, like, why not? Like, if the math and if that works for you, like, that would be great. The point she's making is that you can leverage the money that would have been going towards your house being paid off into investing more. Now, my first point on that is if people choose not to invest or not to pay off the home, are they truly going to put every single penny that would have went towards the mortgage being paid off into investments? Are they truly going to do that? If so, great, good, great, grand, wonderful. That's awesome. They should do that. The problem is when that money doesn't have a direct goal, you're just kind of putting it in as investments. I feel like it's a lot, and I'm just speaking on opinions here. It's a lot harder for people to actually invest all that money up front as opposed to paying off the mortgage. Now, I'm friends with real estate guys that, you know, I own real estate as investment properties, and I have debt on those properties. But the thing is that a lot of the real estate guys I'm friends with, they don't agree with me on paying off the mortgage, is they believe in leverage. They say, okay, well, the money or cash you would go towards to pay your house or to buy your house with, you can in return go buy 5, 6 different homes or 4 homes, however much your house is, and then you have these homes generating you income. Great example. I agree with it, and it could be very lucrative. But it depends on what you want in life. I don't need a massive compound. I don't need thousands and thousands of dollars coming in every single month. I don't need the headache of dealing with multiple tenants, although I have tenants and I'll continue to buy more property. But what I'm saying is I would rather have a paid off mortgage, go to sleep knowing I have 0 bills except whatever my lifestyle I'm living, and keep electric and water running. That sounds nice to me. It does. And to also know that I have money in the bank set aside for retirement as well, and continuing to put money in investments. Oh, also, while I don't have a mortgage payment, that's that much more additional money I'm putting towards those investments as well. Now, let's back this up a little bit. I think everyone should be investing while paying off their mortgage. But the real important piece I'm making here is on the team payoff mortgage side is the guaranteed return, the feeling you get of having no mortgage and not owing anyone money, and then that third part that I wanted to bring back to this is being over leveraged. Because everyone talks about investing, not paying off a mortgage, but what people don't mention or bring up is the risk associated with that. When you have debt, you have payments. When you have payments, you have to have income. If you don't have income, you can't make those payments if the tenants stop paying you, or if rent decreases during some crazy economic times. A lot of people are going to go under, because I know a lot of people out there that are over leveraged. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, JJ, real estate's been on a roar for the past 12 years. You're right, and it may continue to do that for another 12 years. I don't know. That's why I buy real estate. But I'm not buying real estate and getting over leveraged. I don't want to do that. I don't need to live the private jet lifestyle, and I'm not trying to get there. I'm trying to live a good life with my family and be hopefully relatively free financially. Like, that's my goal. I want to live a great life, take some trips, and not be stressed about money. That's why I chose to pay off my mortgage. But if you're over leveraged and continue to leverage your money to buy more homes, and then we have some catastrophic event happen, rents decrease, or maybe a couple of the homes your tenants leave, or you have to evict them because they lost their jobs and they can't pay you rent. Well, if you can't afford to pay or to cover those costs of those homes being vacant, well, there's the domino effect of you losing multiple homes and multiple investments and basically going under. So you got to be smart and make sure you're not over leveraging yourself. What happens if you lose your primary income that you would have used to pay those mortgages for those rental properties? You got to think about. That's the stuff I think about. And again, I'm a believer in buying in real estate and leveraging your money, but just do it the smart way. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Now, there's guys that have crushed it in real estate and are doing much better than me financially, but this is what works for me. These are the things that I think about as someone who wants to have my money set up okay, and I don't need all the fancy stuff. I don't need that much money to live my life. I'm happy with where I'm at. I am. Now, would an extra $10,000 a month be nice? Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, I'd increase my quality of life, but like, I'm content. I'm happy with where I'm at, which I think is also another problem in today's society, is no one's ever content. Ever. They always need something bigger, better. I got a family, I got a wife who loves me, I got a roof over my head, and I can afford some trips every now and then. I hope it stays that way.
You should pay off your primary residence as quick as possible. Agree or disagree?
Depends.
Oh, okay. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. I love it. I love it. Depends on what.
Not as black and white as you, Michael.
I know.
If you have a 15-year, no.
Okay.
Because I think that it also depends on what your interest rate is. So a lot of people watching, hopefully, are locked into like 2.5, 3.5, tops 4 interest rate. in which case investments can make you more money than that. So it would make more sense to keep your mortgage. And instead of, let's say you're like, I have $200,000 sitting around and that's the balance on my mortgage. Well, you could take the 200 and buy income producing properties or throw it in like a tax strategy that gives you 9 to 12% a year.
Yep.
Whereas if you sink it into your house, you were only paying 4.
Right.
So there's the spread. But the other thing I would say is there is a study that has been done that women, not men, but women specifically, when they don't have a personal mortgage, are emotionally happier.
Interesting.
And
call me a woman. It's 2024.
more at peace. So anyways, just, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
But there is, from like a numbers standpoint, it does make more sense if you have a low interest rate on your home to not pay it off and to use capital to have a rate on your return.
So in that sense,
but I'm not going to judge somebody.
Yeah.
Like if they sleep better at night because they have no mortgage,
1000%.
but they have a ton of loans on investment properties, bless you. Like if you don't.
Yeah, and if you don't invest and you're happy.
That's me. I mean, I don't have a ton of loans. But I do. I have loans on my rental properties, and I sleep better at night knowing my primary mortgage is paid off. That's just how I operate. That's why I'm not sitting here trying to say you have to pay off your mortgage. I don't necessarily agree with that. If you think you can financially withstand something bad happening because you have a nice nest egg of an emergency fund and you're investing all your money, or maybe you have the money in investments that you could take out to pay off your primary loan, primary mortgage, but you choose to just keep that money invested and make your typical mortgage payments, that's totally fine. I actually think that's honestly a great idea for the people who want to do that. I do. Like, just put your cash in investments, let it sit and let it keep rising, and then, have your mortgage over here and you just still got to make your mortgage payments. But again, it's the risk thing. You got to think about with that too. Let's say the market has something crazy happen and we drop 30% and you lose 30% of your money. Now you can't pay off your mortgage if you want to. Like, these are just little things to think about. But for me, I am team pay off your mortgage while investing. I think it's one of the smartest moves you can make, because when you do hit retirement and you do get to that retirement age and maybe you do want to retire early, you have no bills. You have no bills. And if you were investing during that time frame while you're paying off your mortgage, you're literally doing the best of both worlds. You're lowering your debt while also increasing your potential income in the future from your investments. So I think that's like best of both worlds there. You're decreasing risk while also increasing income through investments. Those are my thoughts, and that is why I ultimately determined to pay off my mortgage, is because it also gave me a lot of flexibility. Now, see, with me as doing YouTube, income is very fluctuated. My wife, she works as a nurse at a hospital and only works one shift like every 2 weeks as a PRN. So our income, is very up and down. And one thing that also led me to being able to keep doing what I'm doing is I said I wanted to make sure that I don't have many bills going out every single month, so I don't have to worry about working 24/7. I got to make my money so I can pay my bills, pay my car payment, pay my credit card off, do this, do that, pay my mortgage payment. Oh, I got this trip coming up that I'm borrowing money on for. I got to make sure I can afford that. Like, I didn't want to live like that. So I chose to live a good, solid lifestyle, and I wanted my freedom. Now, it took a lot of work to get to this point where I'm at now. It doesn't just happen overnight, but I wanted to be able to have that freedom to choose what I wanted to do. If I want to go back to get a 9 to 5, I can. If I want to keep making content, I can. If I want to sit back and relax for a year because I have enough money set aside for an emergency fund plus a little bit of cushion, then I do that. I have the freedom to do that. And that's what can happen if you get to that point. Now, real quick, what I want to mention, guys, I do have a debt payoff tracker that is built into a budget tracker as well as a net worth tracker. If you guys want access to that, I have an Etsy store. There's also a product listing I think you can see underneath this video. Either one of those links work. I'll pin the link in the comment section if you guys are interested in that spreadsheet. It's only $25. You get access to all of the things I mentioned: budget, net worth, and debt payoff tracker. There's also a calendar for when bills are coming up and stuff. If you guys want to check that out, there's a link down below in the description. I'll also pin that comment for you guys to get access to that. But thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section. What do you think? Are you team pay off mortgage? Are you team invest? Are you team live your life, you don't give a shit what happens? Or are you team both? Let me know. These comment sections always get a little juicy, so I'm curious what happens here. That's all I got. Having a paid off mortgage is nice. Cheers.